Hi there, it's Martin from Mia again, and today's video we're going to look at how we can export all our properties and create a feed for the big portals Righmove Overseas and Zoopla. So we want to get all the properties from our Real Homes theme and we're going to export them using our back office tool. So let's open the back office tool. Now the first thing you want to do is have a look at your preferences. So go up to edit in the menu, preferences, and we're going to select the BLM tab. Now this is how we configure some of the default values so we don't have to type them in all the time. For example, the country that your properties are in, Spain in my case, the region, Valencia, and a sub-region, and then a town. So you set the default values, and then if you want to override the values you can do later. Also these will be set by default. These are just technical things for the feed itself. Basically, if your descriptions have this character in it, you need to change this character to something that none of your description has, and the same goes for this value here. Probably won't need to do anything, but just in case. Anyway, the next thing is you can, if you want to, you can export the coordinates, the GPS coordinates. I don't want to. And you can set up your FTP for your branch with Zoopla or your branch with Righmove. So in this case I'm just going to export and I'm going to import directly to Zoopla. Okay, so let's just, haven't changed anything, I'm just going to quit. Now, as you can see here we have different views on this tabular data. One of these views is the BLM view. This is the bulk load view. So by default these are our values, our extra values: the country, region, sub-region, town, street name, house name number, property type, display address, and publish. These are values required in the feed for BLM. They're not available by default in the WordPress theme, but our tool manages that for you. So the country and the region, the sub-region have been set by default. The town, you might want to change this. By default it was Alicante. I've already changed this one to San Juan. And you need to put the street name, your house number, select the type of property. In this case it's an apartment is what we have in our WordPress theme. However, there's no such thing as apartment in the feed. We have to map our values to the feed values. And if you want, you can override the display address. By default it's going to concatenate, it's going to join together the street name and so on. So I just want to show in the display address. Right, let's have a look in Zoopla. You'll see what I mean. Display address is what comes out here: Real U, Alicante, Costa Blanca. So I want to show just the town, the kind of region, and the area. And if it's visible, then it'll come up in your feed. If it's invisible, and it won't show on your page. So let's have a look. What we're going to do, we're going to only select English, and this is important. So turn off your other foreign countries. We're only interested in the English values for the purpose of this feed. And okay, we don't want to send any rental values. So, and we only want to send published. We don't want to send drafts, trash, and all that stuff. We just want to send the published. So if I press generate BLM and I select a folder where I'm going to put the BLM, I'm just going to create a new folder just to keep everything separate. Let's call it that. So basically it's just a concatenation of your branch number and today's date, 2015-07-19, and then this is the first one we've submitted today. So the next feed, if I submit another feed on the 19th of July, I need to change the next number to 2. Well, this is the first one we've done today, so I'm just going to do save. And you'll see down here in the status bar that it's generating. So it generated the actual feed, but now it needs to download all images. So here we go, it's getting all images ready for the feed. Let's have a quick look in our BLM folder, and it was this last one here. That's the small icons. So as you can see, it's downloading a lot of photographs. Now of course, if you've got a very slow internet connection, it's going to take a longer. It depends on your internet speed. However, once you've done this feed once, it's already downloaded images. The images are saved locally, and then the feed goes very quickly. So we have 703 images here, or 702 plus our. Let's have a look for a BLM feed. Here, the first thing here is the actual feed itself. Let's have a look inside so you can see what the feed looks like. It's just describing, it's pulled off all these values, the reference, the house name, number, blah 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 blah, the images, and it builds it in a format required by Rightmove and required by Zoopla. So our feed is ready. We just want to zip it up. So I'm just going to right click and add to zip. So there we've got a zip. Now we have two options. You can either drag it, you can either open it in a FTP client and just copy and paste it to your FTP client for Zoopla, or since we've already set it up in the tool, I'll just say send BLM to server, and then I choose the BLM zip file we just created on the 9th and then send it. Okay, so that's going to take a little while to send. I think it's like 50 megabytes. So as you can see, it's started. I'll pause the video and come back in a second. Okay, so that's our feed complete now. Just one thing I should point out is that on the left hand side you'll see these checkboxes. By default, all the checkboxes are selected. Now this indicates that these properties will be created in the data feed. So basically everything in this list that has a checkbox, everything displayed in this page that has a checkbox will be sent to the data feed. So if I was to filter for Coveta Fumar, for example, I would only be sending 4 properties. So basically check all of the properties you want to send. I think I have one that's not sent here, one that's got no images, I don't send it. The feed itself has some mandatory fields. It requires 3 features, it needs 3 images, I think, minimum of 3 images. You should get an error message if you don't have one of the mandatory fields populated, then you need to populate it. And that's it basically. So this takes a couple of hours to get onto your page on Zoopla, so I won't see the update for maybe a couple of hours. Sometimes it's much quicker, I've seen it in 20 minutes, but occasionally it takes a couple of hours. So it's a lot quicker than manually inputting 70 properties, right? Anyway, so that's it for this video. Look forward to the next video.